In a previous video, we took a look at the common control section of the question authoring page. In this video, we're going to continue looking at the common control and cover more specifics about it. So, PHP, or IMathAS specifically, can handle a variety of different types of data. And so, in this video, we'll cover some of those data types as well as some logical flow stuff. So, one type of data that you're probably expecting to use is like a number. Programming, they're often called floats, but we're just going to call these numbers for now. So if we wanted a variable a, we could assign like any number value to a. So something like 17, an integer value. You could do a negative integer. You could also add decimal places. And IMathAS comes with a really nice way to interpret mathematical expressions. So you could do negative 12.323 divided by 17.5. So if you want to define variables in that way, you can do these really nice computations within there. There's some more documentation within the writing questions help guide, but IMathAS can handle numbers very nicely. So we can define a variable, a number variable like that, and then we could say something like, in the question text, value of a is a. And again, if we quick save and preview that, it's going to show us over here on the question side once it updates. So then it just shows us the numerical value of a. Now another question, or not question type, data type is a string, which is kind of like a sequence of characters. Maybe you think of this as like a word or a sentence, but it can really be like any sequence of characters. So we'll create another variable, we'll call it b, and if we wrap something in quotes, it's considered a string. So if we put some double quotes, and then I'm just going to put something like, we'll say Johnny. We'll just put a name in there. So then in our question text, if we do something like, hi, my name is, and then we just put $B, and then we quick save and preview. Then over in the question preview, we see, hi, my name is Johnny. So you can add like word or sentences in there, and there's a lot of different uses for strings. So we'll see these used in a lot of the various question types, but strings are also very useful, and you basically just wrap them in quotes. If you want to glue two strings together, which is referred to as string concatenation, we use a period as the concatenation operator. So if you do Johnny, and then we do period, and then we put in another string, so something like, we'll do like a comma, and I like apples, something like that. Then this is basically saying, hey, take these two strings and glue them together. So if we quick save and preview, now we see, hi, my name is Johnny, and I like apples. So we can add these strings together, which is a very useful feature as well. Another data type within IMathAS is an array. And an array is kind of like an ordered sequence. There's a lot of ways to think about arrays. But in a simple sense, we can think about it as just kind of like an ordered list of values. So we'll create an array. We'll assign it to a variable c. And there's two ways to create an array. You can use the array keyword, which is really kind of like a function. So we'll give it some parentheses. And then we could do something like 1, 2, 3. This basically creates a list with values 1, 2, and 3. So c now contains kind of like 3 values. If we want to access these values, I'm going to delete the other stuff out of this question. We'll say the first element of C is, and then to access elements of C, we put C, and then we use square brackets, and we indicate which index we want. So if we did $C, and then square bracket 1, and quick save and preview, then we see the first element of C is 2. Which is actually kind of a lie, because the first element of C should be 1. The reason this is because arrays in PHP are 0 indexed, meaning that the first element in an array has an index of 0. So we actually start all of our arrays with index 0, and this is a very, very, very important thing to remember as we get into multi-part questions. So now we do C of 0, and the first element of C is 1, which seems true. Now, if you don't want to do array with parentheses, you can actually do a shorthand notation where we do square brackets, and then we just put the elements inside of the square brackets. This is a little shorter. I prefer this notation, but you can use either one that you would like. So then this really doesn't change anything. It's just a different notation for writing an array. Okay, a fourth type is a Boolean value, which is just a true-false value. So for example, you could do $D equals true, or D could be equal to false. Booleans only have two possible options, true or false. So saying just true or false doesn't seem that interesting, but in another video, we'll look at some of the logical things we can do within IMath.AS. And so we can do something like D equals 3 less than 5, and 3 is less than 5, that's true. So 3 less than 5 has a value of true, so we can assign the variable true, assign the value of true to the variable D, and we can use this later on if we want to control the flow of our code. So we'll cover that in the next video.